Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I am Army Piper. This is the Piper Academy Network. Right now, Bitcoin getting a little bit of a pullback, but it's kind of still in this range it's been in, kind of just trading sideways for about a week now. Dynamic reactor, 50-day simple moving average. Where can price be going on that? We'll have to take a look at that. But guys, looking at the crypto bubbles right now, opening a lot of red today. If we jump over, take a look at the U.S. markets right now. Dow Jones is down a little bit, but the S&P and the NASDAQ a little bit flat. I don't know why it don't want to move for me, but hey, you guys can see it there, a little bit flat, up about 0.5% overall. Crypto bubbles, though, telling us a story that we might see some downside today. I'm watching for 83,400. We're going to be breaking all that down, looking at a couple of articles. Not a very long show today. There's not a whole lot of macro, so that's a bonus, right? But guys, yeah, obviously, I will try to get that microphone fixed. I don't know. It says it's on the right mic, but we'll check it all out, guys. We're going to make it happen today. Had a very, very late mic check today, OC. We'll catch you guys in 1 second, but you guys know what we got to do. Got to roll that intro. Let's go ahead for it, guys. Class is in session. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. Let's go ahead and bring OC up here so I can try to see if his microphone sounds that way, because it might be the actual broadcast. We had some issues getting things rolling this morning. OC, go ahead and talk for him. Let's see how yours sounded, and we'll see what we can do.
All right. That's my bad. I went in 1 minute just before, but I think I'm going to be doing it the other way around, just connecting, checking, and then doing breakfast. I think that'll basically fix it all, because sometimes if I get a little bit of a delay, well, then that usually gets pushed all the way backwards, all the way to the end. Is my mic doing all right, or is it also sounding like weird?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they say. Is OC sounding okay? If he is, we'll roll forward. If not, we'll just OC sounds great. Okay, so let me change some stuff on my mic. And OC, go ahead. I'm going to push it over to you so that you can go ahead and talk about what you're seeing on the Bitcoin chart, and that way I can mess with my microphone while you're doing that.
Absolutely. So let's get started first by acknowledging what we were talking about, right? Consolidation score is very highly consolidating. Also, remember, this goes from 0 to 10, 10 being the unicorn number. What is a unicorn number? A number that usually never happens, it's very hard to be seen, but also very interesting because it shows a high accumulation of that ranging score. What do we see in the ranging score? Yeah, 8, highly consolidating, right? But also 10 or 8 getting at the end of that ranging boundary also tells that we could be at the end of that ranging zone, right? Yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, we were somewhere around 9, so we are decreasing on that ranging zone, which means that we could be still maybe down ranging or up ranging from that, so just prolonging the ranging ratio. Still 8, a very nice number to be seen there. Why? Because that indicates that we could be ranging the range could be just ending up right there. Let me just start clicking away of this, because yesterday we were having a little bit of a retracement here. Looks like we were bouncing back down, but seems like somehow we nailed it right there. We made another bouncing here, and then we just slowly pushing upwards. Remember what I told you, I need to see price of Bitcoin at least hitting these highs, right, before I start looking for another retracement. We're still within a trade. Remember, 1/2 of a position here now equals 1/4. Why? Because I took half of that half equals 1/4 of a position. And then what we had coming up in here, going back down, entering in here, a full position, coming back down, took me out of that position, re-enter on that position once again, and we just need to wait. So in this case, I'm pushing forward because this is telling me that we are on a prime score, at least as high as we could expect for a pump to happen, right? But also we were expecting, or we are talking about, a possible repetition of what's happening here, right? So let's just look at the analysis here. Let's go upwards here. We have a bounce, a secondary bounce, right? And we're forming this kind of like a bullish flagging here. But at the end, we had a rounded top at this point, just failing to have to do a higher high here, and then losing not only the zero line in here, but look at that. We lost the zero line first, and then we retrace. All right. So very important. We are fighting to try to get back above that zero line. We need to see that zero line, or that zero line being taken, but so far it is not looking that great. We have XAU Crypto in the space. Welcome, Alex. So just in case, I took cover because I was late to the class, so we weren't able to make mic check. So Piper is trying to fix his mic, last minute.
I think it might be good now.
You got it, bro.
Yeah,
nice.
Awesome. I think we're good. I think we're good now. We'll see what the chat says. You're good or not.
You're good. You're good.
All right. So right now, let's jump into the news. I want to talk about that real fast. Shout out to the XAU gang, the OGs. I'm not wearing an OG shirt today. It's Ron John Cozumel. I'm repping OC's hometown. But shout out to the OG. I appreciate all the otters. Guys, drop those otters in the chat like Alex O, or like Alexandra G just did. So she just dropped a ton of otters in there. So awesome. Let's go get into it then. Let's talk about the news. We'll come back and talk some more about Bitcoin. There's some key heat levels on the map you guys need to see. And guess what? It can go either way, up or down. But I will guarantee you this, price is going right. Let's go check out the news. Looking at the Into the Cryptoverse today, guys, seeing what we're seeing on here. Let's get rid of that white line. There we go. Get rid of that white line like your name is BitBoy Crypto. Looking at the wristbands right now, guys, we're at 49.3% on the wristbands. That's for our DCA peeps. Looking at Bitcoin dominance with stables, 63.11% right now, without stables, 69.03%. So take them stables away. Take them stables away, and we're looking like we're getting close to that 71% threshold. I want to go see the Fear and Greed Index today and see what that's looking like. Looking at the Fear and Greed, let's go over here. Fear and Greed, we are in some orange here, and it looks like right now we're sitting at about 30 in fear right now as we speak. So looking at the daily here, guys, we were green. We had a pretty decent daily move going on here with crypto overnight. Not bad. It just kind of stayed in the sideways range. And then we hit this hourly, and everything started to dump on the market open. Of course, XAU Crypto was over there trading, doing some degen longs when I'm like, it's going down to 83,400. What did he do? He jumped in on a long and crushed it like he always does. So I'm telling you guys, best scalp trader in the business, XAU Crypto. Looking at Bitcoin here, guys, sitting at 84,161, up about 0.1%, but taking all of that back here in the last hourly. Ethereum at $1,586. XRP slightly up. I mean, it's down on the hourly, but slightly up on the daily still. It's the big mover. Solana, 4.9%. Good move on Solana, sitting at 131. What else we got? Toncoin still up 3.1% on the daily, sitting at 295. Bitcoin Cash, which is in number 19 on the market cap right now, $329, up 3.4%. And then Hyper Liquid returning back to the upside, up 6.5% on the daily still, despite a 2% pullback on the hourly, moving up another position there to number 22. Litecoin, though, rounding out that top 20 on the market cap. Let's go check out what we got going on over here. Let's give this a refresh. Let's get fresh with this thing. And let's go see what we're looking like on the current TradFi side. Dow Jones right now up. There we go. Up about down about 1.25%. S&P fighting to even get in that upper range of 1%. So it's up about 1/3% right now. NASDAQ's almost flat. Russell 2K up about 0.71. And the VIX is coming down. So everybody right now kind of just pushing back and forth. Not a lot of volatility. Volatility index, that's the VIX right there, slowing down a little bit. Guys, I think overall today we might see a little bit of upside. I think we might get that, and then in the afternoon get the pullback then. So, but right now, nothing major. Oh, look, got good old Pocahontas there, Elizabeth Warren talking on CNBC. She'll probably dump the markets for us. Don't worry about that. Let's go check out the economic data that we had this morning. This all came out 6:30 a.m. my time. That is 8:30 a.m. on the East Coast. Building permits right now. This is for preliminaries. Like, hey, we're planning to build. Here's our preliminary permits. Was expected to be about 1.4 to 1.45 on the consensus versus forecast. They actually had 1.482 million of them come in. So a little bit better than what they were expecting and better than what it was. But housing starts dropped pretty bad. So a lot of people not building houses right now. Demand slowing down. No one wants to pay 7% interest rates on a home, and so they're seeing a slowdown there on the housing starts. And then we got initial jobless claims, guys. 215,000 people filed for unemployment in the past week. Was previously at 224. What was that revision from? They said it was 223. It actually came in at 224. So 1,000 people more filed for unemployment last week than what they initially had stated. Was expected to be about 225 to 227, came in much lower. So initial jobless claims, not bad. What does that mean though for the Fed? That means Jerome Powell is very likely not cutting rates. We're going to talk about that. And I'm going to show you guys the likelihood of rate cuts in May, and then we'll have to look to June for the next move. Let's go over here and jump into X marks the spot, guys. Everyone was talking yesterday about Jerome Powell and TXMC. Shout out to Lunar Beach's crypto for turning me on to this guy on X. Man, this guy's got some good stuff, right? TXMC said, I don't know who needs to hear this, but Jerome Powell has been repeating that the U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path every year since before COVID. It's not news. Hope this helps. So when you hear him say this stuff, guys, it's not like an epiphany he had overnight or that he looked at some new report. He's been doing this for a long time. U.S. house starts decline by most in a year on one family homes. So we were just talking about the housing starts that we saw. They look decent, but check this out. Housing starts in U.S. fell in March by the most in a year as weak demand from high prices and mortgage rates give builders little confidence to break ground. New residential construction decreased 11.4% to an annualized rate of 1.32 million last month, restrained largely by single-family homes, according to government figures released Thursday. That trailed the median estimate of economists surveyed by Bloomberg, who saw housing starts dipping to an annualized 1.42 million. So slow down on that front. I mean, think about it, guys. If you were a builder right now, do you want to build a single family home, or do you want to build a multifamily unit like apartments and stuff? I think a lot more people are looking to rent right now than to buy. So U.S. large bankruptcy put out by the Kalshi letter about 12 hours ago. U.S. large bankruptcies jumped 49 year over year in Q1 2025, hitting a number of 188. It's the highest quarterly count since 2010. Even during the onset of the 2020 pandemic, the number of filings was lower at approximately 150. 694 large companies went bankrupt last year, guys. So companies filing bankruptcy, not a good sign either. That means lower employment. That means slowdown of the economy there. So gold trading like we are in a depression. Over the last 20 years, gold is now outperforming stocks, up 620% compared to 580% gains in the S&P. So we'll look at gold here in a minute. Over the last 9 months, gold has officially surged over $1,000 per ounce. So they do have a little thread here. We'll get into it if we have time in a little bit. I just wanted to touch on the X marks the spot, but they got a whole thread here on gold. And then lastly, this is interesting. According to Kalshi letter, they think it's interesting. I think it was too. Let's check it out. Piper don't have a basement. I live in a desert, dude. We don't get basements in El Paso. So at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the White House announced a press briefing at 4:30 p.m. with a special guest. This is all yesterday. 21 minutes later, at 3:06 p.m., there was a $10 million spike in puts on the S&P ETS SPY. If you don't know what a put is, calls and puts, longs and shorts. Call up a friend, put down the phone, okay? Similar trend was seen on QQQ options prior to NVIDIA's announcement of H2O chips restrictions yesterday. So it's a trend worth watching. It seems like, look, when the White House is doing stuff, somebody somewhere doing some really big trades on insider trading, and I'm not sure who it is, but I don't think they'll ever find out either. Why? Because it's all a game over there for the politicians. So Let's talk about what Powell said yesterday. Powell indicates that tariffs could pose a challenge for the Fed between controlling inflation and boosting growth. It's a rock and a hard place for Jerome Powell here. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell expressed concern at a speech Wednesday that the central bank could find itself in a dilemma between controlling inflation and supporting economic growth. With uncertainty elevated over what impact President Trump's tariffs will have, the central bank leader said that while he expects higher inflation and lower growth, it's unclear where the Fed will need to devote its greater focus. We may find ourselves in a challenging scenario in which our dual mandate goals are in tension. If that were to occur, we would consider how far the economy is from each goal and the potentially different time horizons over which those respective gaps would anticipate to be closed. So basically what he's saying is we'll wait and see more data. What's the data telling us right now? Well, according to the CME group, looking at this from the May perspective, this was way lopsided before, guys. We had like 70%, 80% chance that we were going to see a rate cut in May, right? And then it was really low over here. And I kept saying, guys, this is probably going to switch as we get closer. Well, what do you know? 86.4% chance of no change. That means rate pause going on here in May. If we go to June and take a look at that, that is where we start to get some hopium. 32% chance of no change, 67% of easing, chance of easing now, but that's all the way out in June. So we'll see. I think as we get closer, this is going to do the same thing that May did, where it starts to flip. This gets lower and this gets higher. So watch for that. Can somebody do me a favor and get rid of the shiller that it keeps shilling jingle? He did this in Alex O's the whole time too. All right, check it out. Bitcoin heat map. We just saw OC talking about this. Right now, currently, guys, we're kind of sitting dead center of a void, a dark space here. So what you need to be watching for is we have a zone starting at about 87,700, hitting about $1 billion in liquidity up above. Okay, you have a zone at about 85,300 that's got about another billion sitting below. Okay. So right now, guys, really what I said, guaranteed to go right. That's what you get. But overall, I think that we're going to likely see a pull down to hit all of that liquidity first, because there's quite a bit more down here than what there is up top. So don't be surprised to see tonight going into tomorrow a pull down here to grab all of this liquidity in that zone. And then lastly, guys, base. Let's talk about this. You guys know what happened yesterday. We talked about it a little bit. People were asking about this in our Discord thing that we had yesterday. Coffee break brought to you by Decrypted.tax, who did all my taxes this year and rocked it. Thank you, guys. Painful to pay what I paid in taxes, but they saved me a lot of money still. Base came out yesterday on their official site, on their official X, and said, hey, here's what we got here's what we got. Base coin coming out, blah, blah, blah. Big rug pull, massive rug pull. Base got scrutinized over promotion of a token that briefly crashed 95%. It's now recovered. So there you go. There's that. This is why you don't buy tokens when they come out. They all do that, right? Base faced criticism from the crypto community earlier today after the token Base for Everyone crashed 95% following a rapid surge in value. Base explained that the token launch is part of the content coin experiment with risk of losses clearly stipulated in legal disclaimers. The token has since recovered nearly all of its lost value at press time. So Base, a layer 2 network backed by crypto exchange Coinbase, facing criticism from the crypto community for publicly endorsing a token that briefly lost all of its value shortly after the launch. The token has since recovered. Earlier on Wednesday, Base posted Bases for Everyone on Zora. It's an on-chain social media network that automatically converts posts into tokens, okay? Then at approximately 3:12 p.m., the official Base X account promoted the token by uploading an image saying Bases for Everyone, followed by a reply post to the token's page on Zora. The official endorsement from Base appears to have fueled the token's rapid surge to a market capitalization of over $17 million. However, soon after reaching that peak, it did a 95% drop, wiping out $15 million in value. The initial collapse triggered backlash on X from crypto users, some of who labeled the token a rug pull and accused Base and Coinbase of endorsing a meme coin that would exhibit a classic pump and dump behavior. Since then, though, the founder and CEO of AP Collective, said on X that the crash was initiated by large holders of the token. The top 3 holders were controlling 47%. Ooh, guess what? Bad tokenomics, right? And quickly sold their holdings. Pawa also wrote that the endorsement from Base linked to the publicly traded Coinbase significantly damaged community trust. No doubt. Base responded, though, and said, "We did not launch a token. This is not an official Base token. Base did not sell this token. Okay, great, but you still talked about it. You still put it on your X, okay? And then Basis for Everyone's token's description on Zora also notes that the token is not affiliated with Base or Coinbase. So let's go over and talk about this, because if you are not affiliated with the token at all, we have nothing to do with the launch, but you put it on your official account. Does that tie you to it or not? In my opinion, OC, I think it definitely does. It's the same as some, content creator or celebrity talking about a token. You may not have launched a token, but you have now tied yourself to that launch, and anything that goes on with it, positive or negative, is now tied to you. What are your thoughts on this, OC? You're muted. Hey, you're muted.
Hey, I'm muted. All right, so let's just be real, right? I mean, this kind of influencers, they know what they're doing, right? They're getting retribution of whatever, even if that is also being getting scammed. But that is not our problem. That's what they do. That's what they do. They sell their image, right? So when they're selling their image, because that is a sell for a profit, all right, they get something in return. Call it whatever, the lace, call them, I don't know, chips, call them money, call it crypto, call it whatever they get. They get something of value at that point for their image there, right? So I think they should be held accountable, because they shouldn't be just selling or putting their image to be sold at anything, right? I mean, there's a little bit of a debate. Like, for example, I don't know, let's just think at Ponce, right? Is Ponce offers a new cream, face cream, and then it goes, I don't know, who you like, Katy Perry, right? Showing it, and then it causes cancer. Should she be held accountable? I don't think so in that case, because she was a paid model, right? And cancer maybe was fine afterward. But what if they sell you empty jars?
But I do think that Katy Perry, if she promotes a cream that gives people face cancer, she did not do her due diligence to represent a brand that was solid. And I think that that is a responsibility. If you get paid to do something, then your concern gets known to the world that your number one priority was making money, not the value of what your name is tied to. And I do think that at some point you do have some weight on your shoulders, regardless of it. Yes, Haktua Girl may not have launched that token. She was not the developer. There were other people, but she was the face of it. And guess what? She's 100% destroyed her reputation from that launch. And I do think that there's some Coinbase and Base both have some explaining to do on why they even promoted it on their official channels that they know a lot of people follow. If they truly cared about the space and not just profits, they would have done their due diligence to know what was going on with that thing, in my opinion. So, just my opinion.
I do agree with that.
Let me know in the chat, guys. Give a one in the chat if you think that Coinbase, we'll just go with Coinbase in general, are they now carrying some responsibility for that initial rug pull? Mind you, it played out okay. If no one sold, they would have made all their money back. But does Coinbase have some responsibility in this? Drop a one in the chat if you think they do, a two in the chat if you don't think they do. So, OC, let's jump over to Bitcoin. I want to show a couple things on there, and then I want you to come back and talk about ETH, because I got an ETH article. And so after I get done with Bitcoin, we'll talk about that, and then we'll take a look at what I'm seeing on old Ethereum today. Let's go see Bitcoin here. Let's go. Looking at Bitcoin right now, guys, we are getting that sell-off, pushing down. So I want to show you guys what I've got on here today. I'm looking at this 50-day simple moving average, which that is a horrible draw line. I cannot draw clean. That's that line coming in right now. We're actually testing it, okay? But the line that I'm watching for to hold is, you can see from Tuesday here and then last week over the weekend. So Sunday, pretty much Sunday and all of Tuesday and Wednesday, we had all of these bounces here on our dynamic reactor from Chart Prime's Market Oracle Pro. I'm watching for this level right now. It's about 83.4. If we come down here and we bounce on this, that might be a really good long setup. But when we look at what we're seeing on the money flow, we've gone into red on the money flow. Volume is stagnant right now. Looking at the daily, you can see that we've started to curve here on the MACD histogram. It's starting to curve. We're starting to get a little curvature here on the signal line. And look at the RSI primed. It has gotten 2 flat candles here for 2 days in a row, indicating very likely going to be heading down there. Where would we be heading down to? I'd be watching for 78,857 if we lose those levels on the 4-hour. You can see here on the daily, we've been holding on for dear life to this value area low coming off of this big nipple right here on the volume nipples. If you take a look at what we have here, look, that's your next volume level right there. And where is that coming in at? Right on the 300-day simple moving average. So if we lose the current levels right now that we're trying to hold here on the hour, on the 4 hours, it's going to be your dynamic reactor. Here on the daily, it's going to be your value area low coming in at 83,750. I would very much see that we're heading down at about $78,000 to $79,000 for that 300-day simple moving average down there. It's going to be our next volume area, and all of the indicators over here all telling us some downside coming soon. Let's go jump over to this news article, OC, bring you back up here with me, and let's talk about what's going on with Ethereum right now. Because Ethereum has seen 77,000 ETH move to derivatives. Markets prepping for another drop, question mark? So ETH price at risk, according to CryptoQuant's latest macro and on-chain analysis. Can you get out there? Jesus, like scammers shilling stuff in my chat. According to CryptoQuant's latest macro and on-chain analysis, derivative exchange inflows surged by over 77,000 ETH on April 16th. This would be yesterday. The largest single-day net inflows observed in recent months. The sharp uptick follows 2 previous inflow events that happened on March 26th and April 3rd, both of which coincided with a painful decline in Ethereum's price. The pattern, validated by historical data, points towards increased hedging and short selling activity as large players move ETH into derivative platforms to sell this stuff off and short it. So, OC, let's jump over to your chart. See what you're seeing on hashtag FETH and tell us, like, is this thing getting ready to drop? How's it looking on the TA side? You're muted again, bro.
God, man, it's just been this day. Too many animals crossing in front of my gate, and my dog is going crazy. So, also, by the way, shout out to Crypto Princess in the chat. Welcome. What we're seeing right here is Bitcoin FETH. Of course, it doesn't disappoint. I mean, I just keep saying that. I mean, last time we've been talking about a possible flat top triangle, it did not break out. In fact, it broke to the downside. Here we go. Maybe expecting for that sweep of the lows, and that is because we're still below the zero line. We don't have that push through, but we have some reversals. What is that reversals telling me? It's telling me that we could be having that small push to the upside, but we talked about yesterday, right? And then a possible flip of the ribbon right here to the downside to go into the liquidity zones where the major flip of the ribbon happened, right? So where would that be? As you can see, we have not only that trend line, we also have a support zone in here. Let's see, another a liquidity zone right down here, a little bit more down below there. And let's see if I have anything else like of importance. There we go, a order block that is being built at that point, and it's a high order block. So I do believe that we could be looking at a sweep of the lows before a push to the upwards, to the upside. But so far, Ethereum, man, I mean, come on, right? Come on, Ethereum. At least try to swim up, bro. Because you just keep sinking. All right. I would not be turning bullish on Ethereum unless I have a ginormous Sarus candle here, right? And then break through that dynamic reactor, go for that retest, right? So trap a couple of traders here, liquidate them. And then when we're here, I want to see a crossover my zero line. That's going to be my entry for Ethereum. And off we go. So other than that, that's what I'm expecting on Bitcoin. I mean, I'm not gonna be. That's what I'm expecting from Ethereum. I kind of like Ethereum still FETH because it racked me over somewhere around here, man, and I did not like it. But still, I mean, I'm not going to be pushing more money into Ethereum unless I see bottoming signals. If that means taking Ethereum all the way to zero, well, then I guess that.
You heard it here first. Bitcoin is going to zero.
Well, Ethereum is going to zero, right? Even if that means taking all the way
You
to zero,
can't handle
I'll just
the
wait
truth.
for. Absolutely, you can handle that truth, right?
Yeah, I think he's been in a lot of trouble for a while. Me personally, I think it happened when they went to proof of stake. So the only proof of stake that I like is at dinner time. So yeah, shout out to everybody that dropped the ones and the twos in the chat. A lot more ones than twos. I did see Retro Mike Tech always being the contrarian vote to everything. I love you, bro. He said, no, I don't think that they have any responsibility to that. But that's because he looks at everything from the project perspective of developers and on chain. And he's like, look, you had bad actors in there and you're always going to have bad actors. So I can see his point. It's true. Let's go talk about the that Fed rate decision, because I want to talk about Kalshi, guys. Kalshi, the markets, they do all of the betting where you can bet to vote on what you think is going to happen. When all of those numbers were high on likelihood of a rate cut for May, they were running a poll, a betting poll on their side that said Fed decision in May, and it was no change, was winning for a long time. Jump over here now and take a look at this. You guys can see Fed rate decision in May, no change, has now hit 84%. So I love watching this site. It's kalshi.com. You can get you have a whole economics tab in here. It's pretty cool. But it's really interesting to see how they've been calling this stuff despite, opposite of what the media has been saying and everything. So just go take a look at the scene sometime. It's pretty good. When will Bitcoin hit 150K? Some people are saying before 2026. Here, let's go see. Let's go see what their actual poll is running. So before July, 5%. It's gone. It's down. Before October, 12%. Before 2026, 20%. Is there more here? No. Before February, before April. Okay, those are gone. So in 2025, let's see what it says for 2026. Can I get one for that? Do they have that one? No, they do not. So yeah, everyone is thinking that Bitcoin is very, very low likelihood of hitting the 150K in 2025. How high will Bitcoin get this year? Let's go see this one. Pretty interesting stuff. $125,000 or more, 35% said that one. 150,000 or above, 21%. 160,000 or above, 19%. That's pretty interesting when you come over here and we take a look at this chart. Let's go get rid of all of this, because this is this would be, let's see here, market bottoms, and let's go to Fib cycles. $160,000 would be our 1.618, which we've typically have hit historically until this year. So if we do get some type of amazing bounce here going on, that would be that $67,000 range, which I've talked about is my level that I'm watching for our first line of defense. I'll show you that in a second here. But if we got a bounce there and headed to where we have historically hit, that 1618, even breaking it sometimes, but you can see rejection, pull down, back up, back here, hit it, big rejection, and then back up. So if we were to even get up close to that thing, which I am of the mindset, unlikely at this point due to the macro. But if it does, guys, that's right there in line with what they were just saying on that vote. Now, why do I think that this 167 to 163 is highly relevant? That would be because of this levels here, market top. And let's throw in the fixed range volume profile. This was where I predicted the top would be at way early in the season. And that is where we had our double top at. But I'm watching here because on this fixed range volume profile, right there at the top, we have a point of control. And then on the one that goes all the way back here to 2022's bottom, pulling the volume profile for this whole period, that one has a value area high coming in at that top there. And so we do have this nice little range here of double peaks of volume coming in that pocket of between $67,000 to $63,000, 64,000, I guess it is now. But yeah, so that's the level that I'm watching there anyways, and that would be right in line with that one-to-one line. OC, that pretty much wraps it up today. I said it would be a short show. I just wanted to get all the macro out there, tell people where we're looking at and stuff today. But thoughts on the markets today? Do you think we're going to see downside today? More downside? Are we heading down to that level that we were talking about on the dynamic reactor? Which, by the way, that's where we're heading right now. Or do you think we're going to get break that and go even lower today? What's your thoughts?
I think we're going to go to the dynamic reactor, and then we need to see what's happening, because at this point also gold is dumping. I mean, it's not such a great dump, but at the 4 hour it has a retracement or whatever we made yesterday. Let me just do a quick measurement just to give you guys the data. It is a 1.20-ish retracement from yesterday's price, so nothing to measure, but we could be facing some other another pause, flat pause for a continuation, which means the rest of the market could be going negative on us. So I do agree with you that we're going to be seeing a little bit of a dump, and then farther throughout the day, we could be seeing that that bounce to the upside. But yeah, I'm not trusting the markets at this point. I'm just moving cautiously and looking for my big areas of support. So far, I could be getting stopped out on a Bitcoin trade. But if I do, that's fine. It's just part of the deal. And I still have another open position, quarter of a position still open, that I will be taking some profits off of.
Awesome. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm just continuing the DCA. I still haven't bought this week's DCA yet on Bitcoin. I'm not touching any altcoins at all, as everyone in here knows. If you've been around the academy at all, you know I don't even want to touch any altcoins because the 90-90 rule sucks. So yeah, Bitcoin DCA all the way is the only thing to do, and it's still not even that heavy on the DCA levels. If you guys are interested in getting into the Piper plan for the DCA plan, how we do it, as it goes lower, we get even more money that we put in based on risk levels, and so you're gaining the amount that you put in as you pull down for that slingshot, right? If it does happen, so. That's it, guys. That's all we got time for today. I appreciate everyone joining us here. We're about to head over and raid a little bit of Randy Hipper. I believe she's still live. Let me go check and make sure. I don't want to send you there, and she's not even live today. Let me know. Can someone let me know in the chat? Is Randy Hipper still live right now? And if she is, that's where we're going to head. But OC, appreciate you, man. Always great to have you here. Next time, can we get you in here a little early? That would be great. BC Super Chat. He said, Piper, we have one person who signed up for the trade competition. Oh, you were right. I got to talk about that. Dang it. All right, guys, we have a trade comp going on. If you do not know, it is the Piper Academy Trading Challenge. This is paper trading. So no, you don't have to worry about losing money, but you win real cash. So first place is going to get $100, second place $50, third place $25. This registration is going on through tomorrow. So if you are interested in this, there is a link down below in the chat, and you guys can get it, or in the description. You guys can do that. Look, at this point, somebody's going to win something. There's one person, so someone's going to win $100 right out the gate. So 2 more people enter, you're both going to get money for just paper trading on the competition. So guys, get in there and get that. It looks like Randy is done. All right, let's go see if there's anyone else over here, OC, that we can send everyone to. If not, we'll just wrap it up and say enjoy your Thursday, and catch you guys all tomorrow morning. I got to go in here and see who's live now. Jeez Louise. OC, you can go ahead and look at gold real fast while I'm looking at who we're going to send everyone to, because gold is getting a little bit of a slowdown there.
Absolutely. So we have a little bit of a retracement in gold. Remember that we were talking about that we were on areas of possible rejection. And where was that? Well, then our predictive ranges. We have the first predictive range in here. So we were expecting maybe areas of rejection as we have seen before, right? So what happened? We broke some structure in here. We created another predictive ranges. But so far on the old predictive ranges, we are bouncing from that area generally, right? So what are we going to be looking at? We're going to be looking for the next part of our market structure, right? When we go up and like that, we want to have a little bit of a retracement. And after that retracement, start seeing whether we are holding the 0 line right down here for a then upwards movement, or just basically for a retracement. So far, we still need to wait a little bit more in here before we go for a retracement. Areas of liquidity seems to be all the way down here, so be careful. We could be having a little bit of a movement like that, and then we could be oscillating. This is what I would like to see for another push to the upside, a little bit bigger range of what we had in here, just to have a little bit more of that consolidation of the price action, wait for the dynamic vector to come in strongly here and migrate all of these order blocks up in here. We already have a high order block, but the amount of order blocks that we have here, I want them to be migrated somewhere around here, so to 3,217, so we can have that retracement to that area and not all the way down to 3,095. So that's what I'm expecting on gold. This could be your re-entry opportunity when we have the structure. Once you know what the structure is, look for low areas to enter long or look for high areas to enter short. That's what I got with gold. By the way, I'm going to be going over a couple of stuff. Whenever you're ready, just pull me over. Oh, perfect.
All right. Looks like Randy Hipper is not live anymore, so we will not be heading over there. But we are going to go ahead and you said you had a couple things to look at.
Oh yeah, just in the meantime. I mean, I just had a couple of articles, not important articles.
Oh no. Yeah. We don't need to stretch it out unless they're important articles.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not really.
So, okay, cool. All right, guys, we're about to head today. If you guys don't know, Gypsy did some stuff at a retirement home and a care center. So Gypsy was keeping some other people company, but I miss my dog. But this one here, pretty cool. Old Marine vet there sitting there with Gypsy, getting some Gypsy time. So shout out to my dog. Shout out to all the alumni that joined us here today. And shout out to OC for, showing up late, but he still shows up every day like clockwork. So we appreciate you all. We will catch you guys back here tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock a.m., looking at everything that's going on the macro side, the charts, the TA, what you need to know in the headlines. If you haven't hit that like button, do so, and we'll catch you guys on tomorrow's show. Till then, trade safe. And as always, use some risk management. Peace.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels for low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Train flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crowd sister with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Car Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. Boom shakalaka! We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling up the wheels for low. You can't handle the truth. Get with them. The ZTS rhythm. Rip it. Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean? You can't handle the truth.
That was awesome, dude!